The first is the riches of intimacy with God. This was the first wealth that Adam lost in Eden. When you see people running away from God, running away from church, running away from God's people, running away from anything that reminds them of God, is because they are poor. They are very poor. That reaction that Adam expressed was a reaction of poverty. However, the believer has been restored into a place of intimacy with God. Every man who runs away from God, who hides in guilt and shame, affirms their spiritual poverty. By the sacrifice of Jesus, we have been made permanently close to God. Everybody say permanently. We are eternally one with Him, and nothing can ever separate us. No be me talk, the Bible talk. You see in John 17:22, where we read that time, Jesus says, the glory that you have given me, I've given them also. That's as I was one with you, they may also be one with me. You are one with God. You may not feel like it. You are one with God. You may not even seemingly agree to that fact, but if you are a Christian, you are the body of Christ. Just as the head cannot be separated from the body, you are one with God. When you go to Sokoto, when you go to Canada, when you go to New Zealand, you are one with God. If you are an astronaut and you go into outer space, you are one with God, permanently with God. Never forsaken, never alone. Never alone. To the ends of the earth, never alone. Paul said it in Romans chapter 8, what can separate us from the love of God? He mentioned the worst case scenarios. Principalities, powers, persecution, death, nothing, no one has the power to. It's a permanent reality. Intimacy with God. You see, one of the ways you measure riches, if you're an intelligent person, is that you measure riches by connection. So that you can look at a man and say the man is not rich, but based on the man, who the man knows, the man is rich. If he has a crisis, he can make 3 phone calls and then 10 million will enter his account with 3 phone calls. Because even though he does not have 10 million now, but he has connections to people that if he makes a call. Listen to me. Intimacy with God, connection with God is true riches. That poor man, wretched man, criminal beside Jesus, he was physically beside Jesus, yet he was poor. Until he believed in Jesus, put his faith in Jesus, put his trust in Jesus, got connected to Jesus, he remained poor. But as soon as Jesus said, tonight you will be in paradise, boom, he was a rich man. The other thief who was mocking Jesus remained in poverty. They were both beside Jesus. So it's not about physical proximity. Don't just come to church to ensure that Jesus is living inside you. You can be living inside church and Jesus not living inside you. Ensure you are born again. It's not an assumption. It's not me, sure. Sometimes. If you are certain of your physical existence, you should be certain of your born again experience. You know your birthday in the flesh. You are not saying you are not sure whether you are born again. What kind of parable is that?